I think today on Veterans Day, the key word we get from the gospel is the word giving thanks. Of course, we give thanks to God for all of the blessings we receive, the beauty of our country, thanksgiving to God for our freedoms and so forth. But we also have to thank God for the gift of grace he gave to those who stepped forward to protect that freedom, that protected that liberty, that protected the rights that we so love and we so embrace. Today is a day to give thanks to God, but also to give thanks to those men and women who of the armed forces, those veterans, who so courageously stepped forward to protect what we hold so dear. You know, we live in such a broken world. We live in a world where there is still the reign of pride in the heart of man, wrath and envy, greed and so forth that leads to such violence, and sometimes that violence reaches out beyond one's own home, to one's city, and perhaps at times even to one's own country. In the sense that we've seen over these years, particularly over this past century, fascism, communism, and I dare say socialism, which has wreaked havoc on the world, taken millions of lives, crushed other nations, destroyed people. We have seen in the past 20th and the beginning of this century such evil dished out by Nazism, communism, socialism, fascism, jihadism, mercilessly killing and murdering and trying to take over others' countries. Our country, our brave men and women, step forward to face these challenges in our world. Some gave all, but all gave some. Some gave their lives in the service of our country to protect the world from communism, fascism, socialism, to protect the world from jihadism. They stepped forward and faced horrible dangers. Some, thanks be to God, never had to see battle, but they were there and ready to go at any word. And so they too deserve our thanks in their readiness and their willingness to put on the uniform to defend life, to defend freedom, to defend the innocent, to keep the world at peace or bring it back to peace. So many of our men and women who have fallen, but then so many, so willing, who faced horrible battles and horrible fights, who saw tragic things and came home. They are to be honored and respected and reverenced by us. They carry within them secrets that they hold so close to their own heart that are so difficult to share from what they've seen in war. It's what they bear. It's not just a matter of the time that they served in war or the time they served in the military. It's what they came home with and carried in their hearts, what they suffer with to this day, quietly. Some of them, silently, bearing the scars of war, not just in their bodies, some of them with bullet wounds, and some of them with all kinds of wounds that they suffered. Some of them lost limbs, but all of them bear in their heart the scars and the pain of war. We know from some of our recent veterans how tough it is for them in what they've seen in battle and the amount of mental illness, PTSD and so forth that comes from battle and war. How so many of them suffer from depression, despair after what they saw. But they suffered for love of their country, for love of us. And you ask them, would they do it again? And they would. Because they know the value of freedom. They know the value of life. They know the value of what it takes to protect and defend innocent life. Our world has been through, and God willing it ends soon, we've been through horrible, horrible, horrible dark times. During the First World War, when Our Lady was in Fatima, and she appeared to the children, she told them that the First World War would end, and if the world does not change and convert, a worse war would come. And if Russia does not change, she will turn her heart to communism, and communism would spread throughout the world. Entire nations would be annihilated. Everything she prophesied in Fatima came to pass, and so many of our military had to bear the pains and the scars, had to shed their blood because of what was prophesied, was foreseen, because men's hearts would not turn away from evil and sin and turn back to God. Today, as we remember our veterans who so boldly stepped forward, who so boldly bore the uniform, who so boldly fought and were ready to fight and so boldly served freedom, so boldly served innocent life, we thank them for their wonderful service and the beautiful way in which they were willing. All we can say, I guess, today is thank you. Those of us who never served in the military and never knew what it was like to wear the uniform or to see battle, we really don't know fully what you endured. But we know what we have, what we cherish. We still have and we still cherish because of you. And so today we just simply say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have our prayers, you have our gratitude, and you have our love. And may God bless you, and Mary keep you.